Hi everybody, it's Kevin. Welcome to the video for the Cube pop-up card, I guess we're going to call this. We're going to be using the For You sentiment from the stamp set, and we're going to leave the stamping part of this project up to you. This is our challenge project. We always like to do a bit of a challenge in our Craft Day in a Box to get your creative input going and to give us some feedback and some interaction. So this is one of those 3D cube cards. You've probably seen them around. Lots of different styles for them. We're going to focus mostly on how to put this card together, and the only stamping I'm going to do is the For You on the sentiment, and then the challenge to you is to how you decorate this. Now, the way I'm going to put my demonstration card together is going to be a little bit different from what you see here. As I was looking at cards that people were making, I found a slight variation to this that you can decide as we go along which way you want to do it, and it could be fun because you have lots of different die cut pieces and whatnot that you can use to decorate this with. You're also going to have a choice of paper. Okay, so I'm just going to set this up here to the side like this, out of the way. And in your packet, you're looking for the envelope that has the Just Jade pieces in it. Okay, and you're going to find 3 strips. There's one larger one and 2 smaller ones. You're going to find that we have already pulled out this piece of the floral designer paper, but as part of your challenge, you can use any paper that's in your package that you like. But we put this one in the envelope for you just so you would know that it does match and go with this set. But you don't have to use even that side of it. You are open to interpret this any way you like. And also inside the package, you're going to find a little black scalloped piece and 2 white ones. We gave you 2 just in case you misstamp. So let's do the stamping and get that part out of the way. Bring in my mat. Take one of my ovals. I've got the For You. I've got my Memento Black. You can choose any stamp you like from the set. Got to clean this one off. It's brand new, never been used, and it's got a bit of residue from the stamp making process on it. A little oil. There we go. Now it's holding the ink right. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle. For You. My stamping is done. I am going to stick that down to the middle of my scalloped black oval. Both of these are punched with a brand new punch that's in the new Jan June mini catalog. And the punch punches a scalloped part and it punches a plain part. It's a really good punch. It will have great value. Okay, that's it. Stamping done. Now, on the pieces that you have, if you lay them all down oriented the same way, and I'm going to use a marker here just to show you, one panel on each of them is just a little smaller than the rest. If you look at the scoring instructions, this was a full 8.5 inch sheet, 8.5 by 11, and so this is scored across the 8.5 direction. Actually, I guess it's this way, at 4 equal increments, and then there's a smaller piece on the end, and these are going to fold up to make your tubes. And so basically all you have to do is fold the 4 score lines on them. Okay. And the one that has the X on it, the one that's a little bit smaller, that's the one that's going to glue inside like that to make your square. Okay. So I am going to actually burnish all of these with my bone folder because I want them nice and crisp. Okay. And if you don't want to wait for the glue to dry, by all means, feel free to use your tear and tape or Super Seal, I like to call it. I don't know why they did Seal Plus. Their Stampin' Up! Is so good with all their alliteration, doubling up the letters. They should have called it Super Seal. But they didn't. See? So we stick that together. Just put it up there out of the way, and then we're going to do the same thing with all of these folds. And we'll do this one while I'm at it. Okay. Glue on here. Just try to keep everything nice and square and even. Press this one down a little more. Use your bone folder if you want inside to iron the glue into all the little crevices and corners, and that way it won't peel away from the edge. Now, this is where we're going to make a choice. In our sample one, the openings of the side cubes are this way, so that you can put a sentiment inside and so that you can sort of see in through here, and they're solid on the tops and the fronts. Okay? But you can, when you glue your boxes on, instead of gluing them on this way, rotate them so that they are open on the top. So all three cubes are going to be open on their tops instead of two of them being closed. Now what that does for you is it gives you the ability, if you want, to take all those die cut pieces, those flowers and things that you've got, and make them look like they're growing up out of a planter. Okay, so this could be like, you could call it a planter box. You can still decorate with your designer paper on the front panels and the sides of them, and you can still put your sentiment piece on here if you want to, up at the top, but then you can put all your flowers and everything can be growing up out of the box. Okay, the difference is in the way that it will fold up. So you just have to be cautious of this. If you fold these two down and fold it flat like this, this will fit in your standard envelope. It's actually smaller than the envelope. It's a little bit narrower. Okay, and so you can easily put whatever you like on the tops and fronts. You have to be careful about how much you put out of the top of the box, because you've only got maybe 1/4 of an inch you could go above the edge here. But you can put as much as you like on these front panels because they're not going to go any higher. When you fold this card flat, it's going to have to fold over this way. So both of these are going to come together. So you have all the height of this area to put stuff out of your two middle boxes, and you have almost 1/2 of an inch that stuff can stick out of the tops. Okay, so you have to decide which way, and this is your challenge, which way you want to glue your boxes on. So I'm going to do this one as, like I say, as if it were a planter box. And so all I'm going to do is find the one that's got the short little tab. I don't want to see the short little tab from the front when I'm looking inside my box. So that one is going to get glued down. To my box, my tall box. And I'm just lining them up with my fingers. I can feel the edges of them here to make sure that I'm lined up on both sides. And I'm just doing it flat on the table and holding it for just a minute. And then once I'm certain that it's not gonna move around on me, then I can fold flat and give it a good press. And I'm just gonna, while I'm folding flat, I'm just gonna reinforce any of my folds that might be just a little out of alignment. Okay, so that's that one. Then I'm going to repeat with my other one. And that one is going to also glue to the big cylinder, not to the other small one. It's going to glue down to the big one. And I want to make sure that I'm even all the way around. And you can sort of start to see it wants to just naturally fold up this way to go in to the envelope. So again, now that I've got that flat, I can press down nice and firm, and that will be going into my envelope this way. So I can stack all I want in those holes there, all the way up to it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and I can go 1/2 of an inch outside of the top of my box here. So then, once you've got that, let it sit and dry for a little bit, and you move on to cutting your squares of Designer Series paper. And these measure, just want to make sure I'm correct. Yeah, they're 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So you have a 4x6 piece of paper. So you should be able, whichever piece of paper out of your package you decide you're going to do, you should be able to get 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches is 3. You're going to have a 1-inch piece left over that you can use to decorate the top edge of your envelope if you want, right? Or across like that, glue it on, and then just go and trim the edges off. Or you could even put it across the bottom of the front, would look nice, or up the side on the front, give it a little coordination. So there's that piece, okay? And then out of those, you should be able to get 3 pieces, 1.5 inches. So there's 2. 4. Actually, you're going to get 2 more sets of them. Yes, we are. 6, 8. Okay, and you have on this design 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You don't see the bottoms, but you could do the inside back corners, or you could do around the back here. When you do it this way, you could do this side too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. Any way you want to do it. You could also take another piece of paper that might coordinate with whichever one you chose and do tall ones for the back panels. You could insert them down inside the top parts too, so that when you're looking at your card from the front, you have a little bit of color down inside your tubes. So that's your challenge, is how you're going to decorate, which way you're going to orient your tubes. And then the last part I'm going to show you is how to attach the sentiment. So in your packet, in one of your other cards, and I've lost where mine is, but we gave you a little 1/2-inch strip of, I think it was this card here, a little 1/2-inch strip of paper for the sentiment tag, but you've probably got lots of scraps of paper around. It doesn't have to be anything specific. I've even got this piece left. All you need is just a little tiny strip. Okay. I'm going to bring my mat in so you can see this. So I've just got this little strip of paper, and I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to fold these in half. Okay. And I am going to take them, and I'm going to put them together like this, like a T. Okay, so I'm going to bring them together like a T, and I'm going to hold on to those two pieces that make the T in the middle. Okay, so I got my two little flaps, and I'm going to put glue on those. And I'm going to glue those to the back, middle of my black scalloped piece. And I want to keep them as straight as I can, right up next to each other. Okay, they are not attached in the middle. Okay. And I'm just going to press them down real good and make sure that I'm as close to the middle of that rectangle as I can get. Okay. And what that's going to give you is two little tabs here that you can then glue onto the corner of your block. So one goes on one side of it and one goes on the other side of it. And so when you're ready to mount this, be it on up here or on this one where it's down inside, and it can be tricky. You have to fold it open like this and stick those in. You open them up, put lots of glue on both of them like that. And then you just fold it flat, put it on, and then from behind, pinch it with your fingers, one on each side. That's a little harder to do when you're inside this hole, but you can do it. You bring your fingers up from behind, and you put one in on that side, and the other one is in on this side. Okay, so one on that side, one on that side, and then when it dries, your sentiment is kind of in the middle, in between the two. And then when you fold your card flat, you have to fold that flat to go in as well. So there you are. I hope that wasn't too complicated. I hope you will take the challenge and maybe choose a different paper, add on some. I can't wait to see what some of you do with, if you do this design, and what kind of floral things you have coming up out of the middle of it, what you choose for a sentiment. It's going to be real fun. So take that challenge on. At the bottom of this project page, there's a Facebook button. that will take you to the specific Facebook post where you can comment and tell us what you liked about this project and post your pictures of this project. If you're not on Facebook, then you email us your pictures and we will make sure to put them up in the photo gallery on this project page and note who it is that sent them in. So there is your challenge. We want you to go ahead and turn this into your own project and show us what you ended up doing. Okay? Thank you, and we'll see you in the next project.